When Daniel Harper first heard about Mnemosyne, he thought it was just another wellness scam, a sleek device, marketed as a therapy tool, promised to free the mind from unwanted weight. Most people treated it as little more than an overpriced meditation gadget. But then one night, his neighbor in the apartment below him, a woman who cried almost every evening, suddenly stopped. He ran into her a week later, and she looked radiant, as if years of grief had dissolved. When he asked her what had changed, she whispered a single word: Mnemosyne. Daniel had reasons of his own. His wife, Claire, had died in a car accident 2 years earlier, and though people kept telling him time would heal, time had done nothing. Every morning, he woke up reaching for her side of the bed, and every night, he stared at photos he couldn't bring himself to put away. If there was a chance to erase that pain, even a sliver of it, he wanted it. The clinic was discreet, tucked into the back of an unmarked building downtown. A receptionist with a practiced smile guided him into a sterile white room. A doctor explained the procedure in clipped tones. Mnemosyne didn't just dull emotions, it targeted memory clusters directly, severing them from neural pathways. The result wasn't a blur or a dreamlike haze. The memories would be gone, permanently, like they had never happened. Daniel hesitated. Erasing Claire felt like betraying her, but the idea of carrying her death forever felt unbearable. He signed the consent form. The process was painless. Electrodes, a humming machine, then sleep. When he awoke, the weight in his chest was gone. He remembered work, childhood, his family. Everything was intact. Everything except Claire. There was no trace of her, not even an empty space where her memory had been. It was as if she had never existed. For the first time in years, Daniel laughed easily. Food tasted sharp and vivid again. He felt lighter. Friends noticed. Strangers smiled back at him. Yet, as days passed, strange details began to surface. In his apartment, he found a necklace on the nightstand he didn't recognize. In his closet, a woman's coat, too small to be his. On his answering machine, a saved message in a woman's voice, warm, familiar, but one he couldn't place. Panic gnawed at him. He returned to the clinic, demanding answers. The doctor dismissed his concerns. Residual artifacts, emotional echoes without cognitive anchors. They'll fade, but they didn't fade. They multiplied. A half-finished painting of 2 figures, a set of travel tickets for Paris, a wedding ring hidden in his drawer. He asked his sister about it, and she stared at him with pity. Daniel, don't you remember? Claire? The name meant nothing to him, but the way his sister said it made his stomach churn. He searched deeper, through photo albums, files on his laptop, social media archives, faces blurred where hers should have been, like corrupted pixels, posts without context, messages that felt one-sided. Every trace of her in the world remained, but inside him, there was a void. He couldn't mourn her, he couldn't love her, he couldn't even hate her. She had been erased not just from his brain, but from his very sense of self. That night, he dreamed. He stood in a dark room filled with whispers, voices calling his name. A woman's silhouette approached, her face flickering like static. When she reached for him, he woke up screaming. Convinced Mnemosyne had hidden the truth, he broke into the clinic. In the basement, behind locked doors, he found files, hundreds of them, patient logs, memory sequences, deletion records, each one marked with dates and identifiers. He searched until he found his own. Attached was a warning in bold letters: do not attempt full deletion. Subject: attached identity to memory. Risk of destabilization, high. Shaking, Daniel opened the file fully. What he saw wasn't just data, it was a recording, his memory, played back as if through another's eyes. Claire's laughter, their wedding, the accident, his screams, his begging to make it stop, and then his own voice. Before the procedure, if I forget her, I forget myself. But the procedure had gone ahead anyway. Daniel staggered backward. His life wasn't lighter, he was hollow. Everything he had become was built around her, and now that she was gone, the foundations of his identity were crumbling. Suddenly, the machine in the corner powered on. Its interface lit up, displaying a prompt as if waiting for him. Do you want to recover what was lost? His hand trembled over the button. If he pressed it, the grief would return in full, unbearable force. If he didn't, he would remain a shell of a man, haunted by fragments of a life he could no longer touch. He pressed it. The machine screamed with static, flooding his mind with broken shards of memory. Claire's face, her voice, her final moments slamming into him like waves. Pain unlike anything he had ever known consumed him, but within the pain, he felt alive again. He fell to the floor, sobbing, clutching the necklace he had once given her. When dawn came, Daniel sat by the window, hollow-eyed but whole. He finally understood, memory was not a prison, but the very thread of existence. To delete it was not to heal, it was to die while still breathing. And in that quiet moment, as the sun rose, he heard Claire's voice whisper once more, not from the machine, not from a recording, but from within him. For the first time, he was grateful for the weight of remembering.